Welcome. I would like to read for the beautiful new book, Prevail, from the Olympic Peninsula authors. And I'm Eva McGinnis, and I'd like to share with you the essay that I wrote, Nobody Expects the Spanish Inquisition. If you were a fan of the British comedy troupe Monty Python Flying Circus in the 1970s and 80s, you would recognize their famous punchline, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Over the years, my husband and I have used it as our humor code for the surprise we felt whenever an unexpected suddenly arrived in our lives. We used it when we lost electricity during winter storms, when cutbacks left me without a job, and even when I got the rare speeding ticket. There was that unexpected Spanish Inquisition, so outrageously out of context that we would chuckle and eventually laugh at whatever surreal situation we found ourselves in. We have even used it when absurd politics of the world surprised us. The wonder is that this crazy phrase still works today, though fewer people understand or remember the reference. Since the COVID-19 shutdown of March 2020, we have certainly experienced surreal tests of our humor coping skills in dealing with the unexpected. In fact, these unusual incidences have become so ubiquitous that the COVID-19 pandemic has more become a backdrop, a mask given when dealing with even more pressing issues. Our normally healthy friends have had hospitalizations, good drivers have been involved in automobile accidents, and my own careful husband recently fell off a ladder while painting the side of our house. There was the rush to the ER with its COVID-19 backdrop. I couldn't accompany him inside to check for broken bones, none were found, and get facial stitches and staples. Then there was the trip to Tacoma area for dental and orthodontic appointments for the chipped teeth and fractures in gums. COVID-19 background, got temperature checks wherever we went. On the positive side, there were many helpful angel friends and neighbors smoothing our way with their compassion and loving help. We both passed the emergency action stage of that accident into the humor stage within a day. I consoled my husband with, "It's the first time, honey, that you look better with a mask than without." A neighbor recommended that he leave the ladder wrestling to the professionals. The jokes came so quickly that my husband asked for a respite from them until it didn't hurt to laugh. So I could tell by the smile in his eyes that inside he was okay. It wasn't long before we both looked at each other and said, "No one expects the Spanish Inquisition." However, when there have been more serious situations which we could not find the humor in, we have relied on two other mantras to get us through. The first is, "This too shall pass." In this constantly changing world, it's a way to accept what we cannot change and be grateful for what we do have and can control, like our own feelings and reactions. I have used this when our daughter called from California with an injury that couldn't get treated because the hospitals were on COVID-19 closures. I also repeated, "This too shall pass," in the time of fires and dangerous air quality in the Bay Area where she lives. I couple this mantra with an affirmative prayer that focuses on gratitude for what is going right and staying in the now moment where we are all safe. I trust that we are in God's hands. I meditate in mindfulness. These have been my steady strategies. The second resilience mantra that I use is, "Everything matters, but not very much." I acknowledge whatever the situation is and that it matters, and then I pivot to the bigger picture. I have been blessed with 7 decades of life experiences. They have given me the broader perspective that I didn't have in my 20s when I felt that I needed to be so firmly in charge. I felt then that everything mattered, passionately. This tongue-in-cheek affirmation works for softening differences of opinion, which seems so important when I'm in the midst of them. Too many times, I have wasted energy on things that I now know I don't care that much about. In the moment, it matters, but ultimately, not very much. An example of looking at things from what really matters came with the COVID-19 restrictions. We had been planning our 50th wedding anniversary celebration for months, complete with renewal of vows and a big dinner party afterwards. We had secured the venues, entertainment, the caterer, and sent out invitations. Everything except for ordering the cake was complete. A dear friend had even started pre-baking and freezing biscuits she was going to contribute to the dinner. When the lockdown came in March, we thought surely by June we would all be free of the virus. But as the weeks went by, it became apparent no parties were happening in June or all summer. And we canceled our plans. We were disappointed, but taken in the context of what so many others were going through, health-wise and financially, we felt ours was a minor inconvenience. Taken in the big picture of viewing everything matters, but not very much, we celebrated being happily married and in good health when the day came, quietly and in great gratitude. We even got an unexpected gift. When we were in the planning stage, we reconnected with friends that we had lost touch with and had been at our wedding for 45 years. Now we Zoom with them regularly and our hearts are full. And our anniversary party can be rescheduled when it is safe. Perhaps celebrating 55 years? Everything matters in the moment, but not very much in the long run. So how have I changed and how am I coping? The unexpected event challenged me to be more flexible and integrate change gracefully into my life. I don't let uncertainty about the future become the fear virus. I acknowledge what is, but then move into actions that give my life meaning. Thinking in the bigger picture has softened my need to be in control, and that has brought a greater awareness of the need for kindness and caring for others into the forefront. Where there are differences between people, I try to find areas of commonality, because if I listen long enough, there is always something I can find for us to agree upon, if only our love for our families, nature, or art. These bonds of mutual interest are even more important in challenging times when divisiveness seems to be in vogue. Besides, they challenge me to become a more compassionate human being. In these times, I welcome opportunities to be of service, like organizing our neighbors to send greeting cards to someone in a long-term care facility who was unable to leave her small room. More than ever, I see that small things and gestures do matter, providing a helping hand or an encouragement or even a silly joke, even if I can't give hugs. In the end, I can laugh at myself, choose joy in my life no matter what the circumstance, and even anticipate that I will encounter and prevail over the Spanish Inquisition moments in my life. Thank you for listening.